On the outskirts of a sleepy town, nestled between vast fields and dense forests, ran a desolate stretch of road known as Highway 50. This road, once a bustling thoroughfare, had fallen into disrepair and obscurity, as rumors of strange occurrences and unexplained disappearances haunted its winding path. At the halfway mark along Highway 50 stood a lone scarecrow, its silhouette a stark contrast against the backdrop of the moonlit night. None knew how long it had been there or who had placed it there, but the scarecrow's presence seemed to unsettle even the bravest of souls who dared to pass by. Local legends whispered of a farmer who, driven to madness by a tragic loss, had crafted the scarecrow as a vessel for his grief and anger. It was said that the scarecrow bore the cursed soul of the farmer, seeking vengeance on any who dared to venture too close. One stormy evening, a young couple, Sarah and Mark, found themselves driving along Highway 50, their car the only beacon of light in the darkness. As they approached the ominous figure of the scarecrow, a sense of foreboding washed over them, but they pressed on, eager to reach their destination. As they drew closer to the scarecrow, the wind howled and the rain lashed against the windows of their car, creating an atmosphere thick with tension and unease. Sarah's hands gripped the steering wheel tight, her knuckles turning white with fear, while Mark tried to reassure her that it was just a simple scarecrow. But as they passed the looming figure, a chill ran down Sarah's spine, and she could have sworn she saw the scarecrow's stitched eyes follow their every move. Mark laughed it off as a trick of the light, but Sarah couldn't shake the feeling that they were being watched by something malevolent. Hours later, they arrived at their destination, a remote cabin deep in the woods, seeking refuge from the storm that raged outside. As they settled in for the night, a loud tapping at the window startled them both, and they peered out into the darkness to see the silhouette of the scarecrow standing just beyond the edge of the clearing. Terrified, Sarah and Mark locked all the doors and windows, hoping to keep the malevolent presence at bay. But as the night wore on, strange sounds echoed through the cabin, dragging nails against the walls and whispered voices that seemed to emanate from the very air itself. In a panic, Sarah reached for her phone to call for help, but to her horror, there was no signal. The cabin was cut off from the outside world, isolated and vulnerable to whatever dark force had set its sights on them. As the night deepened, a sense of dread settled over the cabin like a thick fog, and Sarah and Mark realized they were not alone. The scarecrow had followed them, its burlap form looming large in the moonlight, a silent sentinel of death and despair. With a sudden crash, the cabin door burst open, and a cold wind swept through the room, carrying with it the stench of decay and rot. The scarecrow stood in the doorway, its button eyes gleaming with a malevolent light, its twisted form contorted into a grotesque parody of a man. Sarah and Mark huddled together in terror as the scarecrow advanced on them, its outstretched arms reaching for them with unnatural speed. As they cowered in fear, a voice echoed through the room, chilling them to the bone. "Beware the scarecrow of Highway 50, for its curse knows no bounds." And with that final warning, the scarecrow descended upon them, its grip icy cold and unyielding. Sarah and Mark's screams echoed through the night, swallowed by the darkness that enveloped them, their fate sealed by the vengeful spirit of the farmer who had crafted the cursed scarecrow.